The Throne of Ash. The war had taken everything from Queen Valora. Her world, Thessera, bore the scars, cities reduced to fields of glowing rubble, the twin moons perpetually veiled in smoke. She sat upon her obsidian throne in the hollow palace, her bioluminescent skin dimmed to a cold, morning silver. Around her, the surviving council whispered in hushed tones about supply lines and casualties. She heard none of it. She heard only the silence where her daughter's voice used to live. Princess Iara had been 23 cycles old when she led the third wing into the Garath Nebula to hold back the Devourer fleet. They had stopped the invasion. They had saved 1 billion lives. But Iara had not come home, and no body had ever been recovered. Queen Valora had declared 300 days of mourning. That had been 2 years ago. The mourning had never ended, not inside her. "Your Majesty," her General Sorvath approached with a bow. "The human emissary has arrived." She waved a slow, iridescent hand. "Send it in." The human who walked like a storm. He was smaller than she expected. They always were, these humans, these brief, warm-blooded creatures from the blue water world. But this one walked like someone who had already died once and decided against it. His name was Commander Marcus Idle. Dark-skinned, broad-shouldered, with a jaw that looked carved from granite, and eyes that had seen too much to bother pretending otherwise. He wore no ceremonial armor, only a battered field coat with a Thesseran metal pin to the breast, one she recognized. It had been given only to those who fought in the Nebula campaign. She rose from her throne. "Where did you get that?" Her voice filled the chamber like a bell struck underwater. Marcus met her gaze without flinching. "From the officer who saved my unit's life at the Battle of Garath Station." She dragged 6 of my people from a burning corridor and held a bulkhead door for 11 minutes against Devourer drones. He paused. "She told me if she didn't make it back, to find a queen and give it to her." The chamber went utterly silent. "She made me memorize your face," he said quietly, from a photograph she carried. "What survives the fire?" Queen Valora descended the steps of her throne for the first time in 2 years. "She is dead," the queen said. It was not a question. It was the armor she had learned to wear. "No," said Marcus. "She's not." He explained it carefully, how Iara's ship had been disabled deep in the nebula, how the survivors had drifted for months before being picked up by a human rescue vessel operating in secret, under communications blackout. How Iara had been gravely wounded, how she had spent a year in a human medical facility recovering, unable to contact home, because every Thesseran signal frequency was being monitored by Devourer remnant forces waiting to trace the Queen. "She didn't want to lead them back to you," Marcus said. "She made us wait until we had a safe corridor. And now?" He smiled, a small, tired, genuine thing. "Now I'm the corridor." Return. The ship descended through Thessara's smoke-veiled sky just before dawn, when the light turned everything amber and ancient. Queen Valora stood on the landing platform alone. She had sent the guards away. She did not want witnesses for this. It was too large a thing to share. The ramp lowered. A figure appeared, taller than she remembered, leaning slightly on a cane, her bioluminescent skin carrying new scars that caught the light like rivers on a map. But her eyes were exactly the same. Fierce and warm and unmistakably hers. Iara stopped at the bottom of the ramp and looked at her mother. "I told them you'd be angry," she said. Queen Valora crossed the platform in 3 strides and pulled her daughter into her arms, and for a long moment neither of them spoke. The queen's skin blazed gold, a color her people called sorval. There was no direct translation. It meant something between relief and the universe correcting itself. Behind them, Marcus Idle stood quietly at the top of the ramp, watching. He had delivered what he promised. He turned to leave. "Commander." The Queen's voice reached him without her turning around. He stopped. "Thessera does not forget debts," she said. "Nor do mothers." Marcus Idle looked out over the scarred, amber-lit world, and for the first time in years felt something loosen in his chest. He stayed for dinner. He stayed for a week. Some said he never truly left.